area.
All right, guys, well, I have a special treat for you. I interviewed Peter Schiff, president of Euro Pacific Capital. Last week we went to head-to-head on the gold standard, so take a listen.
Steve Forbes said recently a return to the gold standard by the United States within the next 5 years now seems likely because the move would help the nation solve a variety of economic, fiscal, and monetary ills.
I know you're into the gold standard, but do you really think that could happen in 5 years?
Absolutely. It could happen sooner than that. But I think the only reason it would happen is because we have a dollar crisis. We have a currency crisis that brings on an even worse financial crisis. And I think that currency crisis is coming soon. It's going to send the dollar plunging, consumer prices and interest rates surging, and we're going to be in a much deeper recession. And the only way to have a real economy or sound economy is to discipline the government to prevent them from deficit spending. And the only way to do that is with a gold standard.
How would that not plunge us into the deepest recession we'd ever seen? If you look at the amount of M2 supply, we're looking at like $9 trillion. The amount of gold that we hold right now is only $395 billion. So we would have to either hope the gold price goes to $5,000, we'd have to buy all the gold in the world, which by the way still wouldn't equal $9 trillion, or we'd have to cut down the money supply in a painful way.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to devalue the dollar relative to gold. I mean, there's no question about that, and that's one of the reasons that I own a lot of gold. We went through the Industrial Revolution on the gold standard.
Right. In 1971, we only had $633 billion in circulation. So how much do we have to devalue the dollar and hope that gold rises for this to actually make sense?
Well, no, we don't have to hope anything. The dollar is already been devalued. But yes, things are going to get repriced in terms of gold.
So then where would the dollar have to be and where would gold have to be for this to really be a 1-to-1 ratio and not totally kill everybody?
Well, it's not going to be 1-to-1. It's not going to be 1 ounce of gold for $1. I don't know where the gold price is going to have to settle. But the important thing is that we stop the presses, and that money have intrinsic value so that you can save it, so that you have confidence in its future purchasing power.
So what do you think that would be? 5-to-1, 10-to-1 in terms of dollar to gold? I'm just harping on this because I understand the theory. I just don't know how logistically we implement it and still give value to the dollar. Because if we're going to go, okay, $50 is 1 ounce of gold, isn't that just kind of the same thing? Isn't that what we're doing now?
Well, it's not going to be 50. We're going to have to find some level between our gold reserves and the number of dollars of circulation and set some type of limit to where we will exchange, the government will exchange dollars for gold.
So what do you think it should be in terms of dollar-gold ratio?
I don't know where it's going to be. You know, I don't know how many more dollars we're going to print between now and the time we go back to a gold standard. The longer we wait, the higher the gold price is going to be. Gold is worth its intrinsic value. It has unique and special properties that other metals don't have.
Isn't that just what people are willing to pay for it?
But it actually has something. I mean, you're comparing gold to paper. What is the Federal Reserve note worth? What is a piece of paper that's printed by the U.S. government? What is that worth? I mean, you can't use it for anything. It's just paper, but it's already been written on. I mean, it's not soft enough to use as toilet tissue. What are you going to do with it?
And gold, who's really going to be able to take that?
Well, I just said we used to. Well,
now?
If we went back on a gold standard, though, people can buy things for me with gold or silver. People want to, buy. I've written books. If people want to give me a silver coin for my books, I'll take a silver coin.
I will be interviewing Steve Forbes on Thursday to ask him about his call for the gold standard. Stay tuned.